all of the things. And I was like, okay, but on the other end, I was literally praying for death. I was like, this is miserable. Life is not what I imagined. I was just like, God, I have served you well this all long. I'm done. It sucks down here. Just call me home, why don't you? And the longer I stayed and prayed, the better I felt, to the point that the doctors were like, how is it that your numbers are progressing so well? We haven't even done enough for this kind of maternal, right? And it was really a big piece. And this gorgeous black doctor came in and she said, oh, I know everything's going to be all right because the patient is where I listen. Yeah. And so it's been up from there. And I'm grateful. Let's hear it, Mark. Let's hear it. Well, this is a tough act to follow, but this young man right here, um, beautiful. Yeah. Very beautiful. It took a lot of courage to do that. Um, and my book, it is so funny that each one of us is on this journey that I talk about in this book. And it talks about patience. You have to forgive somebody in order to be in that mindset. You have to love yourself uh, to do what you did. So you overcame all of the obstacles. You crossed that bridge with all those obstacles in your way. And my group talk about it. And when you crossed that bridge, you came and you looked and it was like the sun, because you came through the darkness to the sun. So when you got to the end of that road, which is what I talked in my book, you found the yellow brick road. And you found all that. I take that book to the Blue Bob and I use those characters there. You found each and every character in this book and you utilized it. And you went on and found that rainbow. You didn't find a pot of gold and money, but you found your life. You found your life. And you speak those words to what's it, Angela? Yes. And you found life. You came up out of the road. And you found your good. I found mine sitting at the table in the morning, praising God and drinking coffee, and He gave me that life. And I still do it. Well, I didn't wake up. It took a minute before I found what I was supposed to do. That journey was hard. I didn't want to let go of that world out there. He had a plan. But yes, we all share the same thing. We all taking the same road, but it's a different way and a different path. But it all leads to the same thing, healing, love, blessing, and forgiveness. And we all had to do that to get them accomplished. That's me. And I'm so grateful to hear this room today, y'all. It's a friends in the past. I didn't think this existed. Thank you. I didn't think this existed. Yes. It's so good to be black and
Amen. Amen.
This is so powerful. We just getting started. I was the first person.
Yeah.
So the next thing we're gonna go through is the process. So the question I have for all four of you guys is, how did you stay disciplined through the process? Well, it seems like motivation is kind of drifting away when you try to write your book. First, I want to thank you, Ms. Barbara. That's a lot because my second book is called 365 Reasons to Jump in the DM. It's 365 reasons to jump into daily motivation. And it's a daily motivation book, and it's steps that I took. I wrote a book down every day I spent in prison. And it was an action I did while I was in prison to get me to that stage of my life. So it's a page a day, and it's 365 quotes and 365 actions that I did. And most of it was accountability. So once you have yourself accountable, and a part of, like you said, of forgiveness is a part of growth. And you can't elevate with hate in your heart. But with my book, my part of me that, man, actually, when I wrote this book and released it in prison, the week it's supposed to be released, someone got murdered. So I was nervous because on my release date, I was in lockdown. I had no way of knowing if the book got released or was the book published the right way. Did they have the right manuscript? So I was in there sweating, worrying about what I done put out to the world. And I done misspelled words or grammar incorrect. Like I was in there worrying about that. I couldn't sleep or nothing. And when we finally came out of lockdown, first person I called was my mom. She had the first copy of the book. She had already pre-ordered it. First word she said, "Son, did you get somebody to edit that book or look at it before you released it? It's all kind of stuff that's out of order in that book." I said, "What?" I said, "Well, we've been on lockdown for 2 weeks. Somebody got killed in here. Right up, and they died right up under my feet. Right up under my feet." So I had to tell her to call Amazon and take the book down. And she reached out to the manufacturer and they redid the manuscript for me and they corrected it. But I did everything from prison cell. From prison cell. So I actually published my book and released my book lying for real.
Mm. Wow,
And God
that's
still made a
amazing.
way.
That is amazing.
I'm trying to remember that the question was what gave me the motivation to keep writing, to complete the book. And it's for me, and it goes back to what I keep stealing the brother thunder beside me. It's the world around us. It's a pressurized environment, and the reality is if I don't speak my own voice and my own truth, then maybe my voice won't be heard. And so being able to sustain that ability to keep writing was because again I go back to childhood. I wasn't taught to as a black man to use words. We were taught to look stoic. You see the world's strongest man competition, the guy holding up 2,000 pounds, they were talking about how stoic he was looking. I'm like, that man inside is herniated. Everything tore up on the inside because he looked at me, he's just, he looked at it as his figure. And so we are sort of mischaracterized or encouraged into that characterism. And then we wonder why just say Pookie or Ray Ray's at the gas station, somebody step on his shoes and he shoot up the whole place because we haven't taught them how to articulate it, to express themselves in a positive way. And so writing for me was a survival. It was survival. I needed to stick to writing because it was teaching me so much about myself, teaching me so much about the world around me, and helping me find positive ways to impact that so that maybe my voice could be the voice to help somebody else.
Mm.
For me, with this, I was supercharged up because at no other time in my life was I more convinced that I was here for a reason, that I had work to do, and that I had lives to touch. And so I had to, much like today, push
William?
past what was going on with me personally because it just became vitally important with me that someone would feel hope again, someone would get clarity when they were in a season of doubt, just like I was. And that was just extremely, extremely important to me. Even in the midst of it, I was telling, oh, my husband is in the building in the back. She didn't even know that her wife, my husband, was the one who didn't really believe me, but kind of believed me when I was fresh coming out of the coma, still in what the doctors say is psychosis because my brain wasn't getting proper oxygen. So I was talking in circles and circles. But I just kept almost yelling at the top of my lungs, I'm gonna write a book, I'm gonna write a book. And everybody's like, oh, okay, all right, yeah, do something else that she's saying, because she's been saying all this wild stuff lately. But I stood on what I said, it was firm. I felt like that was a passion that God put in my heart for a reason. And I just wanted to get hope to something else. So I couldn't let it die with me. I couldn't let it end with me. I could not come from that type of process and be like the same way. So that literally was my drive. this young man here. I'm sorry, I'm like with you. Oh my God, yes. I mean, for someone who never went to college and did all this and got a degree and stuff, that is very amazing. Very. And I take my hat off to you, but I don't talk about you, but she can talk about it. But I am so overwhelmed with that story that it does relate to my book. Um, like I said, my purpose, I had no idea. The struggle for me was putting it together and answering the call that God gave me. And like I said, I didn't get it. It was a minute before I got it, but I did it. And it was a struggle, and I failed. The first time it devastated me. I took a couple of years off, and I come out. And then I bounced back. And I said, you know what, I got to do this. And I started researching. I got motivated, and I just started writing. But I think for all of us, it came from the heart. We didn't go to no school to get this. We made our own foundation. I mean, I was like you, I was blind too. Because the first time I did my book, it failed. Because I was all over the place, nerds and stuff. So the writing for me, when I did the book and it was proofread, and I went back and read it myself, it made me think about how I speak. Because it's real country. But I find myself, even when I'm writing at work, I can look at my work and like, no, that's not right. But again, it's so funny what we have in common here. Because I see a lot of romance novels, the emotions, it all ties together. Again, the same road, same road. Everybody has a story. And I really, I mean, I'm just overwhelmed with you. I'm so proud of you. And I know people have told you that, but you're a very strong man. Ever let nobody take you off that path. Ever. We got too many people in this room that can motivate you. So don't forever let nobody take you off that path. For you to be so young to do that. And we all trying to get the word out there. I'm getting my word through another way to get your word, your word, your word. So it like I said, if I need I can't even talk about me anymore. I'm so yes, so proud of you. So very proud of you. Just keep on writing. Yes. I like that. Yeah. Yeah. He definitely has a story. Protection. Yes. Um, so with that, like those stories, I just want to thank you. I really do. Like I don't think you understand. Like we know the wisdom we have in this room right now. I hope you understand that we appreciate you. Okay. So, um, yes, ma'am. It's not about us. And I'm looking and I'm like, yeah, I was one. This young man right here. I can't even talk about me because my mind is so focused on him for what he did. It really motivated me. Because my next book is Ancestors, and I thought about giving up on that. Oh, that's what it's like. Yes. Okay. So with all of that, right? With everything that you get gifts, I'm telling you, you need it, you deserve it. Yes. Yeah. With all of that has been said, was there a moment when you almost quit? And if there was, like, what kept you going?
I want y'all to read the book and get into my story, so I don't want to tell y'all too much, but I gotta tell y'all this part. I don't know if y'all remember what I said when I got that armband and it said, 10/6/2006, 7, and it woke me up. When I got sentenced to that 45 years, I didn't hear the judge say 45 years. I didn't hear it at all. When I called home, when I was in the hotel at Fancy Road, my mom said, I can't believe they gave you 45 years. So they did what? She said, they gave you 45 years. I said, no, they didn't. I didn't even hear it. But I'm gonna tell you the reason why. I was in a depression stage and I didn't want to believe it. So I was doing other things to numb the pain instead of fixing the problem. And the reason why I was in the depression stage, May 25th, I got tased in the eye by the police. So I had major brain surgery.
Mm.
And I had coded twice. They had to bring me back twice, so I lost vision in my right eye. That was in May 25th of 2022.
Oh my God. My God. My God.
July, my grandma passed away.
Mm.
In July, they sent me to prison in October. So I had a dramatic life change in a 6 month span, and I didn't know what was going on. I was in depression. But when they gave me that time, and I saw 2067, 45 years, and I got two kids.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm on only child. I had to make it back home.
Mm.
So that time brought me out of depression and woke me up. And that's when I got into the law library and started reading law. And I got myself home in 9 months without a lawyer.
Mm. Amen.
So after I came out of depression, it wasn't no more giving up. It's all moving forward. And I'm still fighting to this day.
Mhm.
I might win the battle for the moment, but I'm still at war.
Yeah.
Because I'm still going through the same thing daily. And my next book that's coming out is called Slap, Starting Life After Prison.
Mm.
Because the journey ain't over yet.
Amen.
It's just beginning.
Amen. Amen. Mm.
I think, the question was there ever a time where we thought about giving up? That's every day we struggle with that. I could reference an Ice Cream song when you talk about just waking up in the morning, gotta thank God. Think about the coffee,
Mm.
but the day seems kind of hard. No bucket, no dollar. It's just a whole day of things. See, the mom cook the breakfast with no phone. It's like this the small and everything around. It feels like as a black man, sometimes those things are trying to get rid of us. And it's not a figment of our imagination. It's a reality that this young man exemplifies sitting aside.
That's okay.
Because in the barbershop, this is where
She might have went to the
his
bathroom.
needs is more common than we acknowledge. But and so yeah, but there were times I wanted to give up. Like, who am I to be writing a book? I'm just a barber. But then I started exploring like history of our ancestry and where the wiser people in the village are usually the ones who spend the most time listening to the wisdom of the elders. And so I started to write from that perspective as Bernard the Barber, because who spends more time listening to the wisdom of the elders than your barbers and beauticians in your local community. And I found that as a responsibility to my ancestors that I use their voice to speak through me, because they couldn't, weren't allowed to read, they weren't allowed to do this, and they weren't allowed to do that. And so it's a responsibility that I have. And oftentimes people, like an elder would die in the community and the family would ask their barber to get up and say something. I would share a story that granddad may have not shared with anybody else in the world. And so there's a responsibility that comes with that, an obligation to our past in order to bridge the gap to our future generations so that they know that their voices are so valuable and so powerful and so meaningful to us. Just to hear his story of perseverance in the face of all the trials and troubles that come his way to overcome those. So it is an encouragement, like Robert said, to hear his story and everybody's story, because we all our voices matter.
Thank you.
One thing, since I'm getting the gifts, it's only right I'm returning favor. I got some armbands that I have that glow in the dark. And it lets you know whenever you think you're alone and you're going through something, there's an angel always with you. And it's got the name of the book and all my social media on it, and they actually glow in the dark. And I give everybody here, if you stop by my stand, I'll give y'all one before y'all leave.
Video call.
So for me, and you all put it on the flyer, and I know it's purpose, so I don't even believe in stuff you said. I mean, there is nothing that happens by chance. Everything is intentional, and everything has purpose. And so for me, it was about legacy. The literal pivot point of my journey was in the hospital. And even though I was depressed and praying for death, what really turned it around for me, I don't have any work children, but I had, at the last year, 16 nieces and nephews. And I was so pissed at myself because I was like, if I die today, what have I left these people? I have left them funny jokes about them, but like about them, clothes, and material things. I was like, these people are going to go through my clothes and jewelry, and they're going to, crack jokes that I cracked with them. And then they're just going to go on. But it became about legacy for me, making a mark in the earth that cannot be erased. And that is purpose from God. And so, again, that became my driver. It was, after I came out of the hospital, as bad as I wanted, there was no quit in me. There literally was no quit in me. Whatever it was, I left it. I left it with the doctors and nurses. I left it with the hospital. My inspiration to be thinking about how there we go. I was struggling with the second one, and just listening to you, what you went, but I'm trying to don't compare it that you doing and how you're affecting you. This should be a piece of paper. So you inspire me, and that is from the heart, and that's true because I'm with the ancestors, the book that I'm working on now. It's very hard, and it's very touching too. And I think what got to me when I started digging deeper, and when you dig deep and you get the true facts. I mean, because everybody sugarcoated and how they don't go behind the scenes. They paint this pretty picture, and it's not a pretty picture. And when I dig deeper and deeper, I cried. So I knew then I pushed it away and I said I can't do it. But listening to you, that's a piece of cake. It should be a piece of cake. And I think what really touched me is the part that you know how you try to cover it up and you don't want to go there, but it's our legacy. So that I need to get that out. And I really have to thank my other behalf, Chad Caldwell, because he gave me an inspiration because I stopped and I let him read the first part. And he was like, no, you're not digging in.
Sorry.
You're not talking about that pain and that hurt and what they did. And so I went back and revamped it, but then I was still. So sitting here with you changed all of that. I want you to know that. Thank you so very much. Thank you.
You know, I hope the biggest thing that everybody in here learned from this is like we all have a testimony. And with our testimony, no matter how small and how big it is, it can transform somebody's life. And I want to say with you, Harold, your testimony is so powerful. But I hope as everybody was listening to it, like I always, man, just know like God is with you through all the darkness that happens in your life. You know, doesn't matter what you go through, God is with you. Well, amazing testimonies. Come on, seriously. So like when people, gotcha. So speaking of testimony, like you guys, some of you put your testimonies within stories. So let's say somebody here in the crowd today, they have an idea of writing a book, but they're like, well, we don't know how to start writing a book. What would be the best advice you would give them? The best advice I can give you is start writing. Just write it down.
That's right.
Write it down. Let it flow. Let it flow. It's like when you was in school and you had to do your rough draft. Let it out. Let it out. But guess what? You always can go back and edit it and structure it how you want to. But you can never get to that stage if you never let it out. Don't hold back. Do what you got to do. Let it out.
Well, I piggyback off of that. Just start writing. My process of writing just starts from pre-writing. Sometimes I sit there and I don't know what I'm going to write about. I just write about what I'm feeling, and hoping. A lot of times, sometimes I'm feeling from a point of hurt, anxiety. Sometimes it's joy, jubilation. But if I'm writing from a point of pain and trying to express that pain, the objective is always to heal myself. And so we always say hurt people,
Mhm.
but healing people can help heal other people.
That's
And so
right.
it's our responsibility as writers, as you write, it, not to try to please the world with your writing, but just to heal self. And that's my advice on writing. Just write. You don't have to show it to anybody. Just write it so that you can go back and look at it and say, "Hey, I did that in this part of my life, and so I'm gonna make these corrections." So hurt people, healing people can help heal other people. And it's each of our journeys responsibility to heal each other.
Mhm.
I definitely agree with what's been said already, and it was our big sister, Maya Angelou, that said, one of the greatest pains you can bear is your story untold. And so you owe it to yourself to tell that story, even if you never decide to share it with the masses, but to get it down. And something that a coach told me is that it doesn't have to be fancy now. It can be fancy, beautified later, but get it down. You can literally use talk to text in your phone. You can use dictation
Mhm.
on most of these tablets and devices. And so if you don't think that you're a great writer per se, but you know you have a story and we all have one, okay, then start talking it through and let those words get on the paper or in the digital space so that it'll start to come together. I agree.
Amen.
I like to write, so I do a lot of journaling, and I don't know how many books of journaling I have, but writing is it. That's right. Put it on paper. Put it somewhere. You didn't have to write it on the wall. Put it somewhere, but write, bring it out. And as you do that, you will learn then, you will look back at what you wrote and then you go back and you correct. For me, it taught me how to speak, how to use those words in the right format. Because in school, you learn the verbiage and all this stuff here. You don't get it. I didn't get it. But when I start writing and looking at and reading books, that puts you in the format of writing as well. So read and write. Read and write. That's how I do it. So the consensus is just get it on paper. Just get it out, right?
Get it out.
Okay, awesome. And from the heart. Yes, ma'am.
That's right.
I love that. Okay, so do we have any questions of the audience for these authors? Because this is that right now. Because if not, we're about to give them a round of applause. We're about to give y'all a couple of minutes and we're going to start our next panel of four. Any questions from the audience for these? Lovely people, lovely authors. No? Do y'all have any last words that you want to say? Yeah, I know you do.
Yes, it
I'm
is.
telling you, this is an inspiration. You are an inspiration to Black people. This is Black history right here. This is Black history. We are making history. And again, before I give him the mic, don't forget to sign that poster that's on the door. Do not forget. If you were here, your name needs to be there. Yes, yes, ma'am.
First and foremost, I just want to thank God for allowing me to be here today. Because according to paper that I still supposed to be behind walls. But he sent me on that journey so I can do what I'm doing now to help others. because I don't think it was never a time that I said I wasn't gonna tell my story. And but just to tell it and get the reaction from y'all, I want to say thank y'all. And as y'all said, I'm inspiring y'all inspiring me to keep going and telling my story. So if you got anybody that, you know, in school system or anything, I do motivational speaking. They can find me on all platforms at Double Motivation. And that's on every single platform. Like I said, if y'all stop by, I got some rubber bands with all my information on it. I'll give y'all. And I want to thank y'all for putting this event together. It's a wonderful event. And speaking of Black history, I don't think it's good history because I had to go to prison to get the history, but I'm actually the first person to ever get 45 years back in 9 months without a lawyer. The average time it takes to win an appeal in the state of Georgia is from 2 to 5 years. And I did it within 9 months without a lawyer. So with that being said, if somebody tell you something, don't believe it. Do your own research and go find out yourself. So if you got any family member that's incarcerated or going through something, tell them to get in the law library and believe in God. It'll work.
Amen.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate all of y'all, each and every one of y'all. Our next four authors, again, we're going to give y'all like 5 minutes to reset. All right. So, Mingo, please pick up these authors' books. Please, they have stories, and I'm here for it. So, thank you for your time. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So, our next four authors, I'm just going to call you guys out. Y'all got